evening, everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How's it going?
I am excited about this one because I have a feeling that some things is going to be said, but we're going to remain friends once this episode is over. Because I think we all have a story with the Mandela Effect.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree with you. I actually was telling the gentleman on the pre-broadcast that last night when I was sending emails, it was time stamping them 2 hours after the time that I had sent them. And I could not figure out why. It couldn't possibly be that I have my Outlook clock set wrong. That couldn't possibly be. It must be a Mandela Effect. So, yeah, you guys, tonight we're going to talk about the Mandela Effect. And we're going to tell you what it is. We're going to offer you up some theories. And I did a deep dive into the psychological side of it. And these gentlemen are going to be participating, and you can participate as well, in a psychological test. There are going to be 2 of them. So
I'm nervous.
And the only thing I've told them is just what I've told you just now. There is a psychological test, 2 of them that are going to be conducted. You don't have to do anything special. Just listen to the story. Okay.
All
right. So I think now we're going to jump right into the Mandela Effect. If you guys are ready, here we go.
I'm ready to roll.
Let's roll.
So have you ever been convinced that something is a particular way, only to discover you remembered it all wrong? Now, everyone forgets things and everyone makes mistakes. Inaccuracies in human recall are normal.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you explain mistakes on a larger scale? Errors in memory that are shared on a collective level by people that don't know each other and who have never met. How can so many people misremember the same ideas, pictures, quotes, and advertisements, many of which they see or hear almost daily? Well, there is a name for this strange twist of human consciousness, and it's called the Mandela Effect. Sail, pirate, hook, plank, sea, blue. More on that later. Now, let's get to the reason that we're all
what? Okay, I'm just going to let that roll. Shelley said more on that later. Okay, all right.
Later. Did you think I was having a minor stroke? It's
okay. A little bit. I was worried at first for you.
Okay. So now let's get to the reason we're all here, and that is Nelson Mandela. Now, Nelson Mandela was born on July the 18th, 1918 in South Africa. He was a nonviolent anti-apartheid activist who protested against the South African government and its racist policies. In 1961, he orchestrated a 3-day national workers' strike. He was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Mm-hmm. Now, in 1963, Mandela was brought back to trial and was sentenced to life in prison for political offenses and sabotage. He spent 27 years in jail from November 1962 to February of 1990. And on February 11th in 1990, he was released from jail when the government lifted the restrictions on political groups. He won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 for his work towards dismantling apartheid in South Africa. Now, on April 27th of 1994, Nelson Mandela was elected the first Black president of South Africa after winning the country's first democratic election. He was inaugurated on May the 10th, 1994, at the age of 77. In 2009, July the 18th was declared Nelson Mandela Day to celebrate the civil activist. Now, Nelson Mandela died on December the 5th, 2013, at the age of 95 in his home in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Or did he? And this is where the Mandela Effect begins. Now, many people recall that Nelson Mandela died in prison sometime in the 1980s. They remembered teary tributes and funeral services being broadcast on television. They remembered... There's a lot of feedback going on. What am I hearing? I'm hearing a lot of shaking. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Let me try again.
Yes.
So it just got distracting for me. I could hear it in my ear.
Yeah, it's real loud. There's a lot of feedback. But...
Okay, that's right. Mm-hmm. So bye, Blake. That's okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, it was. Hit mute on your mic. I think
so it's probably
Okay. So many people recall that Nelson Mandela died in prison sometime in the 1980s, and they remember teary tributes and funeral services being broadcast on television.
Right.
They remember Mandela's wife giving a touching and powerful eulogy for her husband that brought viewers to tears. And the speech was so impactful that it made us feel a powerful sense of remorse for the loss of such a great man and humanitarian. We remembered leaders and dignitaries of different countries sending condolences to the widow over public airwaves.
Right.
But it never happened. And I'll be real honest with you, I am one of those people, but I am not alone. Many remember these events. Many were shocked to hear of Nelson Mandela's death in 2013, not because he died, but because they thought he died a long time ago. Now, self-described paranormal researcher and author Fiona Broome was also convinced that Nelson Mandela had passed away in prison in the 1980s. She too recalled the widow's speech and that there were also riots in some cities. And when she learned that Mandela was still alive, she initially dismissed her memories as a result of misunderstanding. However, during a conversation with a security staff member at a sci fi convention, she learned that others possessed the same false memory with similar details about the aftermath. And this prompted her to further investigate. Now, Broome was struck by the similarities and, encouraged by her editor, she created a website for people to share and discuss their memories that did not align with recorded history.
Now, Shelley, do you remember seeing him die a long time ago?
I do. I have that memory of everything that I just described, of the tearful eulogy, of the dignitaries, of people saying, we grieve the loss of Nelson Mandela. I remember all that very clearly.
Okay.
Or so I think I do. So since Broome was struck with all these similarities, she was encouraged by her editor to create a website for people to share and discuss their memories that didn't align with recorded history. And she called the phenomena the Mandela Effect. She conceptualized the effect after discovering that she and many others possessed strong yet false memories about the timeline of the death of the South African president and activist. Now, thousands and thousands of comments poured into the website as people began to share memories that differed from reality. Some examples were rooted in pop culture, some in advertising, and some arose about entire works of media that never existed. The idea became an internet sensation, and the Mandela Effect went viral. And the idea even inspired a 2019 film titled The Mandela Effect. Now, psychology's definition of the Mandela Effect is this. The Mandela Effect is used as an umbrella term to describe the psychological phenomena in which a large group of people collectively misremember specific facts, events, or details in a consistent manner. Mm-hmm. Some of the features of the Mandela Effect are distorted memories in which some aspects are partially or entirely inaccurate, clearly remembering events that did not happen, unrelated people sharing similar distorted or inaccurate memories, belief that the distorted memory is in fact an accurate recollection, and the Mandela Effect does not involve lying or deception in any way. So the people are actually believing what they are saying and believe that their memory is true. Now, Fiona Broome defines the Mandela Effect as a clear memory of an event that never occurred in this reality. Her explanation ties to several popular theories that suggest the Mandela Effect happens when our reality interacts with alternate realities or parallel universes. She draws comparisons between existence and the holodeck for the USS Enterprise from Star Trek, which was basically a virtual reality system.
Right.
And the difference, she explains that the differences actually arise from our movement between parallel realities in the multiverse, where each universe contains alternate versions of events and objects. And she further explains that memory errors are software glitches, like in the Matrix. Now, the cause of the Mandela Effect is full of speculation. What could cause massive numbers of people to misremember with such specific detail? Many experts in the field of memory and in the field of memory study and psychology have taken a closer look at the phenomena to try to explain and offer a plausible explanation. And here's what the experts say. This it could be based on schema-driven errors. Schemas are organized packets of information and knowledge that direct memory. The packets help us transform material to make it more understandable, but that can produce distortion. For example, people tend to recall consistent items in a coworker's cubicle, like a computer, a coffee cup, or a picture, but they omit inconsistent items like a book or a blanket. Then there's what's known as gist memory. When someone has a general idea of something but can't necessarily remember the specifics, if
Mhm.
the details are unfamiliar, the brain will omit or adapt a memory in a way it makes sense. Like if you can't remember something, you go, oh, okay, I think I got the gist of it.
So it's
So
like paraphrasing something, essentially.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Your brain pulls in these paraphrasing things and it fills in details that you that it doesn't know what to do with the information it has. So it puts in pieces that it can understand.
Okay.
Then there's what's called imagination inflation. And this is the tendency to believe that something is real the more vividly and more often it is imagined. Now, the best example of this is say you have a dream about your spouse cheating, and it's so vivid that you wake up and you're angry. And you think about it all day long and you replay it over and over and over in your head, and it eats at you and eats at you. And every time you remember it and you remember this dream, it gets cemented into your brain. And if you replay it enough, you can actually convince yourself that your spouse might actually be cheating,
Hmm.
even though it was just a dream in your subconscious. So that is called imagination inflation. There are also what's known as source monitoring errors. Now, when people forget the true source of a memory or fail to distinguish it, or distinguish if the memory was actually theirs, or if they actually experienced it, or if it was just witnessed or overheard, that's a source monitoring error. Now, psychology professor Jim Cohen described how this can easily happen using what's known as the lost in the mall experiment. Cohen invented a story about his brother getting lost in a shopping mall, and he told it to members of his entire family. Not only did his family remember the event, but his brother added in details.
Huh. The power of suggestion.
The power of suggestion. Now, cognitive psychologists and experts on human memory, Elizabeth Loftus, applied the same experiment on larger samples and found that 25 to 30% of participants failed to recognize the event was false. And this is what relates very closely to false memories. So 30% of people could be convinced that something happened to them that never happened, just based on given details that sounded familiar. So that's what causes false memories as well. Now, false memories, that's another different little thing.
Mhm.
Those are memories that are untrue, distorted, or outlandish recollections of an event. Some contain elements of fact and closely resemble the actual event in question, and then some are just entirely wrong. Because the memory doesn't work like a camera or recording device, memory mistakes are actually very common. Now, I have already introduced a false memory to you. At the beginning, I read you a list of 5 words.
Mhm.
Can you tell me what they were?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sail, pirate, hook, sea, blue.
Okay. Blake, do you agree with him?
I would say something, but my washing machine is on apparently.
Ah,
Is there more noise coming through still?
No, you sound fine now.
I sound good now? I can
Yes.
be unmuted. I'm out
Uh-huh.
of timeout now?
Yes.
No, I don't remember them. You didn't tell me jot this down or remember it.
you didn't need to jot it down. Okay.
Pink elephant fish barrel. I don't know. I know hook and pirate and blue were in there.
Okay. Say yours again one more time, Ryan.
Sail, pirate, hook, sea, blue.
Very good. This is what is known as the Dease, Rodiger, McDermott task paradigm.
Okay.
It is a procedure in cognitive psychology used to study false memories in humans. You are read a list of words.
Okay.
Most and these words are related. Most people will add or substitute words that are semantically related and recall them as a memory. Some will leave out words. Most will
Ah,
recall reading or hearing a word that was never on the list. By the way, there were 6 words, not 5. Which one did you leave out?
I don't know.
Plank.
Ah, you
Plank.
did say plank was there. Yeah, you're
I
right.
do
Plank.
remember that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sail, pirate, hook, blue, plank, sea.
Okay,
So
so
you
plank was the
see,
only one.
you went with there were only 5. I
Mhm.
gave you that suggestion.
Okay.
Is this the
Interesting.
same thing they do to me every time that I go in to make sure I'm not crazy?
Yeah, pretty much.
It is. They tell me to
Pretty
recall. Tell me to recall a list of words and make sure that I'm insane.
Now, you see, Ryan didn't add in any, but he omitted it because he wanted to give me 5 words. Because I said I read you a list of 5 words. So
So you can be.
he adapted his thought process,
You can be
and
prompted.
he might have heard plank, but
I did.
because I said 5 in his brain, it went sail, pirate, hook, sea, blue.
Mhm.
You
And he left out
lose,
plank.
Ryan.
Oh shit!
You
What are you
lose,
talking? At
sir.
least
You
I remembered him, you
lose.
dildo.
You did. You got. But when prompted, you gave me. I got the last word from you. So you see, your false memory was that there were 5 because
Yeah.
I said 5.
Yeah, I was prompted. Yeah.
You were.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you see how that
I can see that.
that false memory to you. Okay, you see
Mhm.
how easy it is.
Do not appreciate this gaslighting, Shelly, that you were producing on this episode.
It's very it is very interesting though, like because the
That
whole
is
time
yeah.
I'm paying attention to what you're saying, and in
Mhm.
my head I'm reciting. I was told 5, and in my head I'm reciting all 5 of those words, and I completely forgot plank. I really
Mhm.
did.
Because I said I read you a list of 5 words. What were they? You
Right.
gave me 5.
Right.
But you omitted one because you should have gone, wait, there are 6. But because I said 5, you wanted to please the question asker.
I mean,
We
do
got-
you think but do you think it's also too like because you're not really paying attention, like you said 5 and I know you said 6, but do you think like maybe, I don't know, because it was so offhanded that like my brain didn't have time to catch up, or what do you think?
That's the way we process memory. You're not always told to remember something.
I
Okay.
was afraid Shelly was having a stroke. That was, so I was more worried about her medical problems.
Which was really why you should have been paying attention.
But we did get Sail, Wind, and Jason Momoa final answer. That was what somebody gave.
Sail and wind was
Mhm.
not in there. So you see,
So-
you did exactly what the false memory study was saying. You added a word, you omitted another, and you didn't give me the words that I asked for.
So when it comes to the mall experiment, the lost in the mall experiment you were
Mhm.
talking about, do you think that there were some people who clearly remembered that did not happen, but they wanted to be part of the group? So it's like that pack mentality sort of thing where
We're
somebody
going
wants
to get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
All
I
right.
will tell you that I actually do have a false memory. You can
Okay.
be told something over and over and over and think
Right.
that you remember it.
Right.
My mother used to tell me a story about how when she took me to the local pharmacy, she was picking up some medicine, and that there was a lady that stepped up behind her. And I pointed to the lady and I said, "Mommy, who is that?" And she goes, "Honey, that's Sylvia. You know Sylvia." And that Sylvia couldn't believe I didn't remember her. And that Sylvia picked me up and hugged me. And I was so happy to see Sylvia. And Sylvia asked about me to this day, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd been told that story so many times. Every time I'd ever seen Sylvia after that, she had told me that story, that I think that I remember it, even though I was 2. I probably don't.
Right.
So you probably have stories like that in your, where your parent has told you
Right.
something. Oh my God, and you did that. Oh my God. And you'll be like, yeah, gosh, that was crazy. I remember doing that.
Right. Especially in your
has
early years though too, like
Right.
you're told something and you think you might remember it, like it's like a latent memory, but it could just be what
Yeah.
you said, suggestion.
I got a few
Right.
of them right off the top of my damn list, but I can't say them all loud because there might be children watching.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, then
Just
let's move on.
just think things that you're told as a kid.
Yeah. Now, the next thing that they attribute this Mandela effect to is called confabulation. Those are false statements or anecdotes of events that do not have factual support or relevant evidence. And they are filled with incorrect information and ideas that the subject retelling the story will regard as a fact. It's important to note that most people don't intentionally confabulate. They're mostly unaware of the information that could make their stories accurate or inaccurate, and they just can't provide a better explanation. Now, this is a very common symptom in Alzheimer's or dementia because their intentions are not to deceive or lie. They just can't accurately recall. And this is a condition that is known as honest lying. This also applies, ghost hunters, you confabulate. Every time you tell the story of the lore or the legend of a location and you have not done your homework, you are reiterating details about something that you have not even checked on. 2,000 people died in the Yorktown Hospital. There was a murder-suicide. There is absolutely zero evidence of that.
No evidence
But we
of it.
tell the story as if it is fact. We say it's the legend, the lore and legend. This is how the story goes.
Right. And you were talking about the honest lying. You know, whenever there's a conflict or whenever there's an interest, whenever something's going on, the saying it always has been there's your side, my side, and the truth.
That's right.
So
that's right. And we're going to get to that too.
Okay.
Now, there's also something that's called priming. And priming is a phenomena in which exposure to a stimulus directly influences a person's response to the subsequent stimulus. Priming uses suggestive techniques. For example, did you take the blue box off the shelf? That is a much more suggestive question than, did you take anything off the shelf? The second question is open-ended and general. The first question describes the action of taking a specific object, the blue box.
Right.
So the first question, did you take the blue box off the shelf, has a stronger influence on memory than the second. So if it's open-ended, then that makes your brain go back and look and repicture. But if I say, did you take the blue box off the shelf? Let's see, that's an action word. It's a specific item. So your brain files away that somewhere there was a blue box on that shelf because you asked me if I took the blue box, and either I did or I didn't. So now, for whatever reason, your brain, and it's on that little brain cell somewhere, has stored that there was a blue box on that shelf. That's priming.
Kind of like when you asked Ryan to repeat 5 words, huh?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not exactly, because I didn't suggest. I didn't say, Ryan. Well, actually, I guess I did when I said, tell me 5 words instead of 6.
Yeah, you did.
I said there were 5.
Yeah,
you're right.
You did. You confabulated, Shelley.
Actually, I primed.
You primed.
That's okay.
Primed,
I
yes.
primed. That's okay.
Primed. I thought that was the thing I did to my walls before I put the paint on it, but that's
you
okay.
can do that too.
All right.
Now, another part of this is called Ash conformity. Now, Ryan, this is what you're saying. When people conform to a view in order to fit in with a group due to a conscious or unconscious desire to be accepted. Oh my God, we're not going to go sit with Sally. She has stinky feet. Oh my God, did you know Sally has stinky feet? Oh yeah. She wears those ugly blue shoes all the time. Oh my God, those blue shoes smell so bad. Yeah.
Sally, come here. I like stinky feet.
So now everybody thinks that Sally has stinky feet in her little blue tennis shoes, and her little blue tennis shoes are why her feet so stinky. And now that is the fact rather than what actually might be going on. They agree to it because they want to be part of the group.
Sally's tennis shoes are goaty.
Yuck.
Let's go get some shoes.
Now,
oh my God.
This is probably, to me, the most frightening one. And this is called the misinformation effect.
Right.
The tendency for post-event information to interfere with memory of the original event. Research has shown that the introduction of even relatively subtle information following an event can have a dramatic effect on how people remember it. Now, the internet is a powerful tool for spreading information.
Right.
It can be false. It can be true. It can be proven. It can be not proven. But it does not matter. People begin to build communities based around the information. Could be around falsehoods, could be around truths. And once they get that information and they start to build these little communities. What was once in their imagination now starts to seem true to life, i.e., like Slender Man.
Mm-hmm. I was
Okay.
just about to say that. Yeah.
Now, the internet's role in impacting memories of the masses should not be misjudged. In an extensive study of over 100,000 news stories that were discussed on Twitter, conducted over a 10-year period, studies showed that lies, conspiracies, and rumors won out over the truth 70% of the time.
Ooh, that is scary.
70% of the time.
Wow.
Wow.
That factual information was disregarded. And the lies, rumors, and conspiracies were what we chose to believe. Perhaps they were more salacious. Perhaps they seemed more interesting. Perhaps they conformed to our own biases and our own belief systems. But 70% of the time, lies and rumors won out.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Right.
Yeah.
I think as humans in general, if it's a juicy story, we're going to gravitate to it. What's the most juicy thing that you can give me? Well, that sounds right. Even though you haven't fact checked it. Well, that sounds
That's
about right.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
people will go with that.
So are you gentlemen ready? Let's see if you have been a victim of the Mandela Effect. So
sure.
are you ready?
Hold on, wait, Ryan, how do you think you're going to score? Because I know Shelly's got something up her sleeve.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I guess we'll have to see.
I will
don't
tell
know.
you this, that Blake always gets a picture script from me. I have omitted the answers in all of Blake's picture scripts.
I have not even looked at any of the
Right.
pictures, to be honest. I downloaded them, put them right into StreamYard.
Mhm.
So
Perfect.
So
we're going to start with something easy. And gentlemen, give it a half a second before you answer so that anybody watching at home can answer. Take a good look at it and then give me your answer, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to start with something easy. We're going to start with movies.
Okay.
Now, Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt starred in this movie based on a novel with the same name. Is it Interview with a Vampire or Interview with the Vampire? Blake, you can put up the next one. Which one is it? Interview with a Vampire or Interview with the Vampire?
I'm going with interview with the vampire, because if I remember correctly, I feel like that's what the book that I remember holding in my hand said.
I'm going to go Interview with a Vampire because that's always how I've heard it and remember it. So, I mean, we'll see.
Okay. You can take that down.
I'm going to say
correct. Go ahead.
I was just going to say.
It's probably the, but I'm going to say A.
It is Interview with the Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Not a random vampire, the vampire.
You know why I probably
keep a tally.
Like I said,
keep score. Keep score.
I probably went with that because and the sound pretty similar.
And that is exactly the reason for that. People say Interview with the Vampire. People hear the whenever they say the instead of the. If I say Interview with the Vampire, it's very clear what the topic is. Now, in this next movie clip, in the movie Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, what is whispered?
If you build
it, they will come. No, I know that's wrong.
I know it's wrong.
Oh, crap. What is it?
So the options are, if you build it, they will come. Or if you build it, he will come.
It's they.
I think it's he. No.
Unless he's talking about a specific ball player, which he very well could be, because it's been forever since I've seen that movie.
The correct answer is, if you build it, he will come.
Okay.
And
I'm not going to give myself a point
I went back and found that clip because I also remember it is, if you build it, they will come.
That's
because
what I remember.
At the end of the movie, all the ball players come walking out of the cornfield, right?
Right.
But he's looking for one specifically. If you build it, he will come is the correct movie quote. Now, we have all seen this actress, Miss Sally Field, in her 1985 Oscar win. What does she say? Go ahead, Blake.
I know, because I love her so much, because she reminds me of my grandmother. She says, "You like me right now. You like me. Try me. Fact check me."
What do you think, Ryan?
I'm going to go with Blake, but I know the famous quote is, "You like me, you really like me."
The famous quote is, "You like me, you really like me." But that is not what Sally Field said. She said, "I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me."
I
That
love
is what
Sally
she
Field.
said. Now, that was parodied in so many different places. It's very understandable why people would go.
Yes.
The way
Right.
it was parodied was, "You like me, you really like me." So that is what got stuck in our
Right.
collective, consciousness.
Right.
I love me some Sally Field. I was very confident on that one. Probably
Me
not
too.
so much on the ones coming up.
Yes. Now, in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes
I know
Back.
this one.
Shit.
I know
What
this one.
does Darth Vader say to reveal the relationship to his son Luke? And hint, it's not "you my boy, Luke."
Let me take this one.
It's not that.
You my boy, Luke.
Let me take this one because he
Okay.
says Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father, and Luke says no. He does not say, "Luke, I am your father." He goes, "No, because Luke says
What's
You
the
kill-
quote?
Luke says you killed him, and he says, "No, I am your father." He does not say, "Luke, I am your father."
You are correct. Most people
Ooh.
think that the line is, "Luke, I am your father." But actually, what Darth Vader utters to let Luke know he's his boy is, "No, I am your father."
Yep.
So, "No, I am your father." If you've been saying, "Luke, I'm your father," you've been
But
misquoting all this time.
that's
But
the same
it is
thing.
parodied. Mhm.
Right. The same thing has happened with "You like me, you really like me."
All right, we're gonna give Ryan a point on that one.
Yes, Ryan does get a point on that one. Now, C-3PO, we're going to stay with Star Wars.
Okay.
Now, C-3PO, the famed Star Wars droid, has an interesting look to him. Can you tell me which is the correct picture of C-3PO?
Okay, so one he's got 2 gold legs, one he's got a silver leg.
Yeah.
Correct. Which one is it?
Oh hell, I don't
think-
know.
Well, okay. So this is a very nerdy thing. I think it depends on which one you're watching because I think in some of the remasters they changed it, but I'm gonna say the one with the silver leg is the original one.
Ryan, we can't have column A, column B throughout this whole episode.
Has to be one or the other.
Well, that's the God, you know how many times Star
No,
Wars
I know,
has been remastered?
I know. No, I know. I get you. I get you.
I know.
Oh God, I don't know. All I know is C-3PO is. I feel like he's a gay robot. That's it. Oh, R2, my circuit's been for you. You know. Anyways, I'm gonna say 2 gold.
Okay. So the Star Wars droid has a silver right leg, but you won't be in trouble for getting this wrong because given the low resolution of the older films, the character is often being shot from the waist up. And the fact that the original line of toys did feature an all gold C-3PO, it's no surprise that, it's that people were shocked to learn he actually has a silver leg all along. He does have a silver leg from the very beginning when he's first shown on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was shot in low resolution, it does appear to reflect the gold onto the leg, but he has always had a silver leg.
Let the record show that Brian was right.
You were partially right. You were partially right.
Partially.
He
You don't
gets a
get it.
Give me that point, damn it.
Oh,
I need that
half
point.
a point.
Bullshit. That's a whole point.
You wish you had a whole point.
Biggest point anybody's ever seen.
Oh God. Okay, can we go next?
Yes.
Please, next.
We're going to go to an older one, and many people haven't seen this movie, but you know the line. In the movie Casablanca,
Yep.
what does Bogart's character ask Sam to do?
I know.
I can't remember.
Play it again.
I can't remember. I'll
Play it again is the famous one. Play it again, Sam.
I watched it. I watched this in college, and I failed that class anyways. So
is that what he says to Sam?
He says, "Here's looking at you, kid," to her, and then play
What
it
does he
again,
say?
Sam.
Okay. So Casablanca is one of the most famous films of all time, but play it again, Sam. It's not there. If you're familiar with that line, you might be confused to learn that it was never actually said in that exact way in the film. Ingrid Bergman's character does say, "Play it once, Sam, for old time's sake." But in Casablanca, Bogart never asked Arthur Wilson to play it against Sam. However, he does say, after Ingrid Bergman's character walks out,
Mhm.
he says, play it. And he goes, but boss, he said, if she can take it, I can take it. Play it. So most attribute play it again, Sam, for, instead of just play it. So yeah,
Mhm.
it has already been played once because Ingrid Bergman's character asked him to play as time
Mhm.
goes by. So it makes sense that he would say play it again.
I wouldn't have
Right.
got that one. Like I said, I took a arts history class in college and failed that class. So yeah, and that was one of the movies we had to watch. I fell asleep. I'm sorry. I love old movies, but you can't do that to me at 8:00 in the morning.
So the correct line for that is play it. So now we're going to go to one that I think everybody probably knows. In Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Wicked Queen peers into her magic mirror and says, what?
Go ahead, Blake.
Actually, he first says, "What wilt thou know, my queen?" And she says, "Magic mirror on the wall.
Yep.
Who's the fairest of them all?"
And you would be correct.
Mm-hmm.
I love
So
Disney too.
most people think that it's mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? But it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Because she's talking to the magic mirror. Doesn't that make sense? Hey, magic mirror, pay attention. Yeah, and it doesn't help that there was a film made later, and I can't remember who was in it, that was called Mirror Mirror, which was a parody on the Snow White story.
Right.
Okay.
So
Ryan,
now,
just letting you know right now as it stands. Spanking that ass, spanking that ass, spanking that. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so let's go to an iconic movie, and that is The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Now, in The Wizard of Oz, what does Dorothy say after she steps out into Munchkin Land and looks at all the beautiful stuff?
The famous quote is, "We're not in Kansas anymore," but I think she says, "Toto, we're not in Kansas."
I think
anymore.
it's Toto. We're not in Kansas anymore, though.
Mm-hmm.
So here are your options: Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, or Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
I think it's a Toto. Toto, I have a feeling we're
Yeah.
not in Kansas anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. Toto,
Yep.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. And then after the flowers wiggle, she says, now I'm sure we're not in Kansas anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been saying, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, you've been saying it wrong. It is, Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Oh, and by the way, before you put this picture up, I want to ask the question. Bonus points.
Okay.
Does the Scarecrow pull a gun in The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
I honestly don't remember.
Yes.
You want to take a guess?
I'll say, I mean, yeah, why not? Yeah.
Pull up that first picture. Bonus points, he is brandishing a weapon. Go ahead and put up that next picture, Blake.
He's going to shoot the wizard.
Because that is a more clear view. And if you have never seen that in the movie, I actually went back and found that clip. And I will tell you that it happens in the moment where they are walking through the haunted forest. They've been told to retrieve the broomstick from the Wicked Witch. This is right after the Tin Man is hoisted up in the air. And the Cowardly Lion is going, I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. And in an attempt to be valiant. Now, where the Scarecrow got the piece from, I have no idea.
Okay, so, but because I don't doubt that he does pull a gun, but has it been digitally edited out at certain points, or is it?
No, I don't believe that it has.
Still there, because here's the interesting thing: after he pulls the gun, the Tin Man is dropped. Tin Man is hoisted up in the air, and then suddenly just falls back down. We never actually see where he goes. Tin Man goes up in the air, he falls back down, and the Scarecrow runs over. He has the gun in his hand. He's trying to help the Tin Man up. And as the Tin Man starts to walk away, whenever the Scarecrow turns back around, the gun is not in his hand anymore. He's got his arms around the Tin Man, but as he turns back around to face the camera, suddenly the gun has vanished. I went and watched that I don't know how many times. And I looked up every clip I could find everywhere on it. Mm-hmm. It's in every single one of them.
Yep.
And whenever he turns around and if you've never seen Hey, yeah, Scarecrow was packing heat in The Wizard of Oz.
I think I'm busy. I was busy watching The Lion, though. He's my favorite character.
Oh, mine too. Mine too.
Oh, Blake, 5 points. Ryan, 1.5.
All right. So now, in
Eat a
the
fat one.
movie Grease, and we know Grease, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
What's the name of the car?
Oh, you know what?
Oh shit.
Not. I mean, is it Grease Lightning? I guess, right?
It's what?
Grease Lightning. I don't know.
You're thinking of the song. Go Grease Lightning,
Right.
burn it. Yeah, that one.
I don't do a lot of musicals, so
I don't remember. Oh god, that makes me a bad. I've seen that movie 800
I
freaking
mean,
times.
I'm
I'm gonna go with
yeah.
Greased Lightning because that's what they sing about.
Right.
I don't actually know if
Can
I
you
even know
spell
the
that
name.
first word you're saying?
Grease with a D, like bacon grease, and then with a D.
Greased Lightning,
So
yeah.
Greased
Okay.
Lightning.
Well, in that case, you get a point.
Bam.
Ryan, you get
Because
points.
Dude, you got to hey, you got to count some of these too because we both got the same answer for some of these. So
okay, but I couldn't tell if you were saying grease lightning or greased lightning.
Greased Lightning.
Now, and it's Danny Zuko says this car is automatic, it's systematic, it's hydromatic. Why? It's greased lightning.
Yep.
Mhm.
So greased, Greased, lightning is the name of the car, not grease lightning.
You know, I do think though why people would probably think it's Greased Lightning because I remember there being a car cleaner or a solvent called Greased Lightning, and so they parodied that in a
Correct.
commercial.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
My son was actually in the musical Grease, and he had to sing "Go Greased Lightning," Greased. You're burning up the quarter mile.
Yeah.
So it is the name of the car is Greased Lightning.
mhm.
So now let's go from the highways to the high seas.
Okay.
So in the movie Jaws, after
Right.
seeing the shark, what does Chief Brody say to Captain Quint? as he backs
We're
into
gonna need a
the-
bigger boat, but I think
Let
we're
her
gonna need a bigger boat.
finish.
You got to give the people who are watching a chance
That's right.
to answer.
Give a beat.
Right.
So as he backs up into the captain's quarters,
Mhm.
he turns, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he says to the captain, "Here are your options. We're gonna need a bigger boat, or you're going to need a bigger boat."
Ooh, I'm
It's-
gonna have to go with we need a bigger boat.
I'm gonna go your.
The correct answer is you're going to need a bigger boat because you see, we implies that they both own it.
Mhm.
It's his boat, and he gonna need a bigger one. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Even though, if you look up the quote, "We're gonna need a bigger boat," it will take you to that clip.
Right.
This has been so misquoted that actually, on some of the clips that I found, even though I was listening to them, the subtitles would say, "We're going to need a bigger boat," even though you could clearly hear him say,
Okay.
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask did he enunciate.
No,
Yeah.
it's very clear.
Okay.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Okay.
But I even found some where the captions that were captioned in, they misquote him. So now here's one, and this one I'm gonna give partial credit if you can get close.
Okay.
In the movie Forrest Gump, we all know this movie.
Mm-hmm.
What does Forrest say as he's sitting on the park bench and he opens up his box of candy?
Do we have options?
I'm gonna
No.
say no options on this. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna say I know this is gonna be wrong, but the way that I remember it is Mama always said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Say it one more time.
Mama always said life's like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get.
Okay. What do you think, Brian?
I don't think Mama says life is like a box of chocolates. You never know which one you're going to get.
You're both wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
Okay.
The answer is my mama always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will give you partial credit because Mama, who's played by Sally Fields shows up a couple of times in this. And when Forrest is replaying, because he starts out, my mama always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Right.
He's replaying in his head a memory, and it cuts to Sally Field in the bed where he says, my mama got the cancer. And he's remembering that moment. And he's sitting with her on her deathbed, and she says, oh, Forrest, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Now, that is said by Sally Field, but Tom Hanks is recalling a memory, and he uses the past tense. He says, my mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. So if I'm asking for the Forrest Gump quote from Tom Hanks, it is was. If you are asking for what Sally Field's character says, it's is, because she is talking to him in the moment.
I feel like that's details, though.
But details are what matters.
I know. I'm just fucking with y'all.
Details are what matters. But many people misremember Forrest Gump's character, Tom Hanks. So
Right.
Right, yeah.
Life
Yeah.
is,
Right, right.
Isn't. He says life was like a box of chocolates. So that's it. We'll give you some more bonus movie stuff later.
These are my
Let's
magic
move on.
shoes.
Let's move on to. Yeah, okay.
I was gonna pull the I must have drank me about 15 Dr. Peppers. Anyways,
That's
sorry.
Okay, so let's move on to advertising. I mean, if you grew up before streaming services, you have seen every ad that's ever been run. Okay,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to pull anything that's brand new on you. Okay.
Okay.
So, first of all, is I want to know how you spell the name of these Oreo cookies. Is it double stuff? That is DOUBLESTUFF, or double stuff, DOUBLESTUF. Which is the correct way to spell that kind of Oreo cookie? Right?
I believe it's double stuff with the extra F because they're trying to show how stuffed they are.
Nope, I think it's just with one, if I remember correctly. I think it's just double dip.
The correct answer is DOUBLESTUF singular.
Okay.
There is only one F on the Oreo cookies. However, unless you're like this guy in the UK, and they spell it with two F's in the UK.
Cheating.
Nope. Give me a point.
No.
Talking
Hey.
about American brands right
Exactly.
now.
American brands only. Okay.
Exactly.
All right,
Cheater.
All right.
Okay. Now,
cheating?
this one. Now, everybody's eating Kit Kat bars, right? You've seen them in stores. They're right there. They're in the, on the end cap aisle says you're
right.
Which Kit Kat bar is correct?
Oh, God.
Is it the Kit Kat bar that does not have a hyphen, or the Kit Kat bar that does have a hyphen? Which is your candy bar here that you like to eat? Which one is correct?
Without the hyphen.
Yeah. I'm with that.
Gentlemen, you are correct. There is no hyphen in Kit Kat.
Yes.
Cool.
And a lot of people attribute that to the fact that a lot of things, whenever they're hyphened, are because in English, things get hyphened, and people tend to hyphenate words that go together like that.
Right.
So our brain fills in that hyphen for us. So a lot of people, like this one got me. I didn't know. I had to go and dig a Kit Kat bar out, and I promptly ate it and thoroughly enjoyed it. It was research. Leave me alone. Okay, so it's Kit Kat has no hyphen in it.
Okay.
So now, how do you spell the name of the most delicious God's chicken that there ever is? Is it Chick-fil-A or Chick-fil-A?
It's the first one because there's no K.
There's no K.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You are very wrong. It is CHICKFILA. As a nod to their famous chicken sandwiches, it is CHICK, Chick-fil-A. As in chicken, not as in girl.
No.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Hold on. I got to Google this shit.
Go ahead and Google it. It is CHICK.
I'd be goddamn. Speaking of God's chicken.
God's chicken.
It is CHICK-FIL-A.
I wouldn't lie to you. I did the research.
Well, sometimes we have
I-
to question.
Hell, I'd rather go to Zaxby's anyway. No.
I'm okay. I feel like there's some like psyop bullshit happening right now because I
Right.
could have swore that had no K in
Right.
it.
I mean,
Chick-fil-A does have a K.
yeah.
Now, the next one, this is another popular brand. You probably have one of these in your car right now, one of their cups. Which of these two Starbucks logos is the correct one?
The one on the left without the extra star on the head, with just the crown.
I'm gonna have to go with the one with the star because I mean I don't know. I don't drink Starbucks enough to know, but I'm gonna have to go with the one with the star.
Well, it is called Starbucks. The crown with the star on the top of it
That's
is
some
the correct
bullshit.
Starbucks logo.
That's some bullshit.
Go ahead and Google it if you'd like.
That's some bullshit.
The crown with the star on top is the correct Starbucks logo.
I'm a live fact check every one of these motherfuckers at this
You
point.
better.
Starbies.
Now we have a very well loved. I was right? Okay.
Yes, you were right.
Okay. So the next is a kid cereal. Now I know
Okay.
I ate these when I was growing up, and I want to know
Oh,
what is the correct spelling of Fruit Loops. I must have stared at this package many mornings
It's-
getting ready to go to school.
Hold
and
on,
eating
Ryan, let
Froot
her talk.
Loops.
I am. I'm looking at it. I said it's gonna be the one on the right. The
Yeah, I was gonna say it's-
FROOT.
yeah, it's FROOT.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you tell me I'm wrong. You're gonna ruin my childhood, Shelly. Now, which one is it? Damn it!
The correct answer is Fruit Loops. FROOT.
Okay.
Damn, yeah.
LOOPS.
I was about to say, I know I haven't fucked that memory up.
Fruit Loops. Fruit misspelled intentionally on the box. Yet whenever people write it, they
Mhm.
tend to write it with the correct spelling of the word fruit. But it is the double O's in fruit and the double O's in loop. Now, your baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR, but can you spell its second name? Is
Yeah.
it A or E?
My baloney has a first name, so it's Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
You are right, and you are a child of advertising. That proves that advertising works. Your baloney has a first name, it's OSCAR, and your baloney has a second name, it's MAYER.
I like to play with my baloney.
I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after you play with your baloney, you're going to need this. It's called Febreze. So,
God, I hope not.
baloney sneaky. Anyway, moving on. What is the correct way
got
to
stinky
spell
baloney.
this product?
Okay,
Yes.
it's Febreze. So
Yes,
we have,
this is an Aran fabric freshener.
Right.
You
Yep.
probably
It's-
walked by it, saw it on sale. Is it spelled Febreze or Febreze?
I think it's the double E.
I think it's one E.
Double E might get me again on this one.
I think it's Febreze. That's what I'm going with.
Febreze.
The one with one E. Febreze. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, you're going single E and Ryan is going double E.
Mhm.
Blake, you can give yourself a point. It is Febreze, 1E. And another intentional misspelling.
I'm a little competitive. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if you're that competitive, tell me, what is the name of this peanut butter? Is it Jiffy peanut butter or is it Jif?
It's Jif.
Yep.
My
You are
peanut butter
correct.
has a first
Well,
name.
no.
It's good.
Because moms like you choose Jif.
Yeah.
And actually, your advertising is wrong on that. I was about to give you the quote. It's choosy moms choose Jif.
Huh.
And it is Jif. Now, people get this confused because a lot of people think that it's Jiffy. Now, there's Jiffy popcorn, Jiffy Lube oil changes, and there is Skippy
Right.
peanut butter.
Yeah.
So a lot of people make that instead of Jif peanut butter, they think it's Jiffy. It's not. It never has been. It's choosy moms choose Jif.
Jif.
Jif peanut
Okay.
butter.
Not to be confused with that thing that they send in text, the GIF or whatever.
Absolutely not. We're
Too
going to
old for
speed it up
this.
here a little bit.
Okay.
So now every dad had a pair of these tidy whities, and they were Fruit of the Loom. Now you tell me which of these logos is correct: the one with the cornucopia or the one without?
The
One without.
Yep, the one without a cornucopia.
You are correct. The Fruit of the Loom logo has never changed. However, in their logo patent, there is a cornucopia in the original patent for their logo, but on this timeline, their logo has evolved, but it has never had a cornucopia in it. Yes.
Interesting.
So now, this next stuff, it will get anything out. Any stain you've got, it's going to get it out. Is it called OxyClean or OxyClean?
Oh, hell.
OXI or OXY? I'm going to go with OXI.
I'll say OXY.
It is OXI, OxyClean.
Nice.
Most people would say OXY based on the oxygen because it uses a hydroperoxygen base to bubble, right? But it's OXI.
You better give me a damn point for that Fruit of the Loom because I was in the middle of saying
You got a point. Calm down,
okay.
sir.
All right.
Okay.
Still kicking
Now,
that
we
ass.
all like these delicious little baked cheese
Oh.
crackers. And whenever you're eating them, do you know what you're eating? Is it Cheez-Its or Cheez-It crackers?
Shit, if you wouldn't have said it that way, Shelly, I could have
I-
told you. I think it's Cheez-Its with a Z.
I don't remember ever
I think
seeing a
it's-
Z on the back.
I think it's CHEEZ-ITZ.
the cheese.
Everybody locked in?
Ryan says Cheez-It.
Yeah.
Ryan gets a point. CHEEZIT. We tend to say Cheez-Its because you don't eat just one.
Right.
But there's a single baked cracker on the front, and that is a Cheez-It.
I'm going to Google this motherfucking shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
And ironically, baked
Cheez-It.
crackers also eat Jesus.
God dang it, it is freaking.
Now, this shoe brand has many famous spokespeople. And I often wonder if they know how to spell the name of the shoes that they're wearing.
Right.
Is it Skechers with a T or Skechers without a T?
Without.
Yeah. Because there's it's without a T.
You guys are correct. There is no T in Skechers,
Mhm.
even though the pronunciation sounds like there is.
Right.
Skechers is the correct pronunciation. And it is another intentional misspelling because when you sketch, you're beating him, huh?
Mhm.
All right, we're going to go to one where they're going to move on to television, okay? Here
Okay.
is your last advertising one.
Okay.
The Laughing Cow cheese. Now,
Right.
many people don't know if the cow on the logo has a nose ring or does not have a nose ring. So this Laughing Cow cheese, you walk by it in the store anytime you go into the dairy aisle. Does the Laughing Cow have a nose ring?
I'm gonna go yes.
No. Shit. No.
Okay, Ryan is going yes and Blake is going no. Okay. It's a cow, not a bull. There is no nose ring.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's what I said, right? Oh yeah, that's me. I get a point.
Now people associate the nose ring because of the two great big earrings in the Laughing Cow's ears.
Right.
But it's a cow, not a bull. So she does not have a nose ring. Now, there is a logo progression that starts from 1921 to the current day. The Laughing Cow has never had a nose ring.
Huh.
What?
Never
That's
had a nose
funny.
ring.
Interesting.
So let's move on to television. And this is the sing-along portion of the show.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. Sing it with me. Mr. Rogers walks in. He takes off his sweater and he says, go ahead, gentlemen.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Sticking with
neighbor?
that?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Are you sticking with that?
He said a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Yes.
Blake,
Or it's a
do you
wonderful
agree or
day.
disagree?
I don't know the song well enough.
Did you put up his picture so we could all see Mr.
I wasn't blessed to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that often.
So the iconic kids show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He says, It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor.
Mhm.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. I mean,
Mhm.
this neighborhood specifically, it's a beautiful day. He does say it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
I'll
Until
give you-
Lady
It is.
until Lady Elaine shows up, and then it all goes to shit. So.
Lady Elaine Fairchild is no joke, child. She's
I gave you
scary.
2 points for singing it, Ryan.
There you go.
Thank you.
So actually, Hollywood contributed to the Mandela Effect concerning Mr. Rogers because in 2019, the Mr. Rogers biopic was named "A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood." So
I haven't watched
Hollywood
it yet.
contributed to that.
I know I'll cry if I watch it.
All right. So now let's move on. Okay, Trekkies, it's your turn. Okay.
Oh.
Now, William Shatner's character, Captain Kirk, he was
Mhm.
always bossing Scotty around. And when he needed to lift back to the ship, he would hit his transponder. And what would he say?
Oh, beat me up, Scotty.
Yeah,
I know I'm wrong because I don't watch Star Trek. So
that's what I know it as.
Beam me up, Scotty was never said on the original show.
Hmm.
The closest that he ever got was Scotty beam us up or beam me up or beam us up, Mr. Scott. Beam me up, Scotty was never said. Now, that has been, they think that the Beam Me Up, Scotty comes from a series of bumper stickers said, Beam me up, Scotty, there's no life on this planet. No intelligent life on this planet.
I've seen that one.
So they think that's where that comes from. But Beam Me Up, Scotty was never said.
yeah, well.
Now, here's our next one. Now, Carrie Bradshaw, she ran all over New York being fabulous and hoeing around. What was the name of the series she was in? Was
Sex.
it Sex? Was
Sorry,
it Sex and
sorry.
the City or Sex and the City?
Sex and the City.
I'm
Point
gonna
that,
trust Blake's intuition on this one.
You are correct. It is Sex and the City. That is one I had to create because I cannot find a logo anywhere that says Sex in the City. However, when you go to look it up, it pulls it up and it will even say that's some pretty good. cut
That's some
and
pretty
paste
good
right there.
editing right there, Shelley.
It was.
Right.
I'm very proud of you.
But it is
Yeah.
Sex.
It's sex and the
Mhm.
city because it's not all about the sex that's happening in the city. It's the
Mhm.
sex that they have and the city.
Running around the city looking fabulous.
Yeah.
The sex don't always happen in the city. It can happen in other places.
It can happen in airplanes, which usually does. And never mind.
Okay. Now we're going to go on to probably one of the ones that I had a hard time believing I had to go and
Okay.
rewatch all the episodes because you see, I love Lucy. And Lucy was always getting into some predicaments she wanted Ricky to find out about, but he always did. And when he caught her, he would bellow at the top of his lungs. And what would he say? He would say,
Lucy, you got some splaining to do. That's the quote, but
That's the quote.
I know that that's not right.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Yeah.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do was never said on the show's 6-season run. Not one time. It was, he did say, splain that if you can, or Lucy, splain. He never said, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Was never said on the show's 6-season run.
I think Blake's mind is blown over here.
I actually went back whenever I found that the very first time I ever found that Mandela Effect, and I watched all of them. He does say, Lucy, splain. Right. He does say, Lucy, splain that if you can. But he never says, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
It's very interesting how many of these are because parody just took over the zeitgeist versus the actual quote.
Like I'm having like heart palpitations over here from
I
that.
know.
I love Lucy.
I know, me too. And trust me, I never thought I would ever get that wrong, but I did. Now let's move on to cartoons. Here we go. Let's start wrecking childhoods.
Oh no, Shelley, don't do this to me. Shit.
What is the name of this modern Stone Age family? Is it the Flintstones or the Flintstones?
The Flintstones.
Flintstones, yeah.
2 T's.
Because everybody doesn't pronounce the T, so it's the Flintstones.
Flintstones.
It is the Flintstones, Flintstone. But it's funny because whenever they start singing at the beginning, they say Flintstones, beat the Flintstones. They hit those. But people say, oh, yeah, I watched the Flintstones today. Bad pronunciation? Maybe.
Mhm.
But it is spelled with 2 T's.
Right.
Flintstone. Now, this is one you've probably already all know the answer in, so we're going to be real quick about it. This happy little bear family also has some discussion about their last name. Is it the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstein Bears?
I always remember it as the Berenstein Bears.
I know the answer, so I'm not going to answer in case anybody who's watching doesn't know or listening doesn't know. But I'm pissed about it. I'll say that.
Right. Same.
Okay. So this happy little bear family is known as the Berenstain Bears. We say, and again, we put in Berenstein because we're more likely to hear a last name with the last name Steen rather than Stain. But they are the Berenstain Bears, Stain.
No, I'm going to die on this hill. I will tell you,
You can die on that hill, but
I'll
just go
die
back
on
to the
this hill.
books.
I don't
It's
care.
Berenstain Bears.
I don't care. It's
Now-
bullshit. They've done something to our brains on that one. I promise you, it was Berenstein Bears at some
That's
point.
what I remember it as. Yeah.
But it's Berenstain.
I will
You
die
are a
on this.
victim of poor pronunciation.
I will die on this fucking hill.
Now, we all watched cartoons after school Saturday mornings,
Right.
and we all saw this logo at the beginning of the cartoons. But what is the correct spelling of Looney Tunes?
Hold on, Ryan.
Is
I
it
know this one.
Looneytoons or Looneytunes? What is the correct Looney Tunes logo?
It's going to be the one on the right, Looney Tunes,
Uh-huh.
because it's after the songs that they were singing.
Yeah. I'm going with
So you're
like
saying-
tunes, like you're
Mhm.
singing a song.
Right.
Tune. Yeah.
That
Mhm.
is correct. It is Looneytunes because Looney Tunes was had a companion piece that was called Merry Melodies.
Right.
And
Mhm.
a lot of the Looney Tunes cartoons took pieces from classical music
Mhm.
and would put them under their cartoons. Uh-oh, what'd they say?
Nothing is about the Berenstein Bears. I got told that they weren't a Jewish family. They were just- I'm sorry. I will die on that hill.
I don't know the religious affiliation. They look like a happy little bear family to me.
They do. They're
Now-
lovely books. I will still die
Now-
on that hill.
We all know this mischievous little monkey, and his name is Curious George. Does Curious George have a tail in the books?
Oh God.
No, I'm gonna go with no. I have no idea. I never really read them.
I'll say yes.
Now, this one is strange. Curious George is a children's book character that first appeared in the 1940s. And the
Mhm.
assumption is that Curious George is a monkey. Yes, he looks like a monkey. He's eating a
Mhm.
banana. We can assume
Right.
he's a monkey. And most monkeys have tails.
Mm-hmm.
And most people remember Curious George having a tail. But alas, everyone's favorite curious little primate is, in fact, tailless. And I hope this doesn't give George an existential crisis, but he does not have a tail.
The man in the yellow hat just cut it off.
And I don't know what the man in the yellow hat did. It was really
Damn,
weird. He was
Ryan.
running around with the monkey. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Pikachu. Even I know who Pikachu is in
Yep.
the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
The Pokemon character is famous worldwide, but there seems to be some debate about his tail. Which Pikachu is correct? The one with
crap.
black on his tail or without the black on his tail?
Without.
Out. Yeah.
I'm going
'cause-
without because if I remember correctly, the color is at the base of his tail. It is without.
Right. And I think when he evolves into Raichu is when
Is when it goes
Yeah.
on the tail. Yes,
Right.
correct. Don't
Okay.
mess with this 90 babies.
Now, many people report remembering Pikachu as having a black tipped tail. In reality, the character has always had a solid yellow tail. And the confusion or false memory may stem from the fact that Pikachu does have black tipped ears and he
Mhm.
does have black stripes right above his hiney.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
he has a solid yellow tail.
He does, and Ryan, you are right. When he evolves into Raichu, he has the color on the tip of his tail at that point.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Well, the next one is we've all played Monopoly and probably accused one of our opponents of cheating. And we might have even flipped over the board. Maybe. Could have happened. Not sure. Did the character of Rich Uncle Pennybags, a.k.a. Mr. Monopoly, on this famous game, did he wear a monocle?
No.
No,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
don't ask me that during this episode. No, I'm not sure. I'm going with gut reaction.
Y'all are
No.
answering so fast. The answer is no. However,
Oh,
There-
however, let me tell you this. When asked to draw this character, people that had never seen it, they just described the game and said his name
Mhm.
was Rich Uncle Pennybags.
Mhm.
People drew him that have never seen the game with a monocle.
Hmm.
Something that plays in your subconscious. So, but he has never had a monocle. Now, I don't know where the monocle comes from. That's how I picture him too, is with the monocle.
Right.
But he doesn't have one. Go look at your Monopoly board. Now, of course, Scooby Doo, my all time favorite, is part of the Mandela Effect.
Okay.
We've got ourselves a mystery with this one, kids. Did Shaggy have a protruding Adam's apple?
yes.
Yes, I remember him having it.
Shaggy did not.
No.
This is wait, go to the next picture. This is a still from the original cartoon series. Now, when he gulped or whenever he swallowed the large sandwich that
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo handed him, you would see the Adam's apple as he would swallow, but he was not drawn in the original series with a protruding Adam's apple. He was not.
I was gonna say in the original, I wonder if there any of the updates has him having a protruding Adam's apple.
It says that he is not drawn with a protruding Adam's apple.
Okay.
And I went back, found some Scooby-Doo cartoons online and watched them, and he doesn't have a protruding Adam's apple. Not from the 69 to 73, I think.
Yeah, the original run. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if in the 90s they gave him one, because there were some Scooby-Doo movies that came out in the 90s, and I wonder if they put it in the cartoon itself, but I don't know.
But he does not have a protruding Adam's
Right.
apple. He should not be drawn that way.
Okay.
So, next is, this little bear reminds you that only you can prevent forest fires.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name?
Smokey.
Smokey Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Smokey Bear or Smokey the Bear?
Come on, Chili, stop it.
Those are your options. Y'all answer so fast, I don't even have a chance to give you an option.
I'm sorry. We got to talk. Okay, sorry. So our options are Smokey Bear or Smokey the Bear.
Correct.
I'm still going to stick with Smokey Bear.
I think it is Smokey Bear because I think it was named after a bear by the National Park Services.
There was an original bear that had the name, and he ended up becoming the mascot because he was
Mhm.
rescued from a forest fire.
Right.
And his name was Smokey Bear.
Yes.
Mhm.
So a lot of people say Smokey the Bear. They relate it like Kermit the Frog.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like some things have their anyway. It's Smokey Bear. Okay, Smokey Bear is his name.
Okay.
Now, in this famous book by Dr. Seuss, it tells the story about a Grinch that set out to destroy Christmas for the Who's down in Whoville.
Oh.
Mhm.
What is the correct title? The Grinch Who Stole Christmas or How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Which is the correct title of the Dr. Seuss book?
I'm going with How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
I think that's right.
You are correct. It is
Mhm.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas because it tells of his exploits to be able to steal Christmas.
Can I
Yes,
tell you how I knew that?
sure.
I used to model as a kid, and I was almost an extra in that movie. Anyways.
Ah, okay, good deal. Very good.
I don't model anymore.
These
Cindy
are the
Lou
last
Blake.
ones.
Yes.
Now, history and art do not escape the Mandela effect either.
Okay.
Now, in Da Vinci's famous painting of the Mona Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
which of these correct? Is she smiling? That's the only question you know. Is she smiling?
No, she's got a.
No, she's
Mm-mm.
not.
No.
She does not smiling in this.
So you're saying that the picture on the right,
Picture on the
which shows
right.
is the correct
Mhm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and pull up the next smile. She's a smile. Next slide has a smile. Yes, and this is the original, a picture from Getty Images, and it has been debated that Da Vinci painted her with a pensive look and that she was not smiling, but in fact she is. And it was debated because it was thought to be the painter Da Vinci's self-portrait. But Mona Lisa actually is smiling. It's slight, but the bitch still got a grin. So
Is that how you teach the class? Look at Mona Lisa over here.
Look at-
The bitch got a
that
grin.
bitch be sly and smile.
Look at this
She's
bitch.
got a sly smile. Yeah. if that's how you remember it, it doesn't matter because that is the correct answer. She does have a smile, a mysterious smile. What?
I
Now,
call bullshit.
she does. She has. You can go to the Louvre Gallery. And yeah, it's in the Louvre. It's in Louvre in Paris, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can see it. Yeah, she has a smile. Now, let's get a little serious here because in this historic picture from 1989 in Tiananmen Square, many people remember this man standing up to the approaching tanks.
Right.
What do they recall happened to him?
So I know they recall that he got ran over by the tank, but if you watch, the tank goes to the left and does not run him over.
Not get run over. But everybody remembers him being run over.
So, Ryan, you are partially right. Many people do remember that he was run over by the tanks, but he was actually pulled from harm's way in the last moment. The tank did not have time to veer. He was pulled out of the way. So he actually survived. Now, here's one that I do not understand. Go ahead and put this up. Alexander Hamilton. I like his musical and I love his money. Was he ever president of the United States?
No.
No, he was the secretary of the treasurer.
Y'all are so fast. Hey, people at home, just hit pause on us. If you
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You throw us up and never mind. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so he was Washington's right-hand man. He was the first secretary of the Treasury of the United States, and he was a self-taught lawyer, and he died in a duel, but he was never president. Now, a lot of people, for whatever reason, think that Alexander Hamilton was a president. Don't know. Maybe it's because a lot of people's faces on money are presidents.
Yeah.
But the Treasury provides for the fact that presidents are on money, and the only other people that are allowed to be money are people of great influence in national history.
Like Ben Franklin.
Yes, Ben Franklin. There are some people that actually think Ben Franklin was president. I'm here to tell you he was never a president either. All right. Now, this famous portrait of Henry VIII is often misremembered due to what Henry is alleged to be holding. Which of these two is the correct picture?
It's kind of hard to see.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
In one, he is holding a turkey leg. And in the other, he is holding gloves. Which of these two is actually the correct picture?
I think maybe the gloves. I don't think.
You know what? He sounds like he beat me. I'm going to go with the turkey leg because my ass would be holding the fucking turkey leg.
It makes sense for Henry VIII to be holding a giant ass turkey leg, but
I'm going with the goddamn turkey leg because that's what I'd be fucking holding.
And people have a memory about the above portrait of Henry VIII featuring him eating or holding a turkey leg, though no such painting exists. In the real picture, Henry is holding his riding gloves and not a turkey leg. Because he's Henry VIII, people believed that whenever it was was mocked up that it was a real painting.
The King of Gout.
Now I'm going to tell you this. Even the Bible does not escape the Mandela effect. The source of Samson's strength comes from his hair.
Right.
Who cut his hair and rendered him vulnerable?
Well, Delilah is the famous answer, but I'm sure she was the distraction, and maybe another Philistine came in and cut it.
Who cut Samson's hair?
That's what I said.
Question.
A Philistine.
Hair? What do you think, Blake?
Pass.
Okay. Many people believe it was Delilah, and that is perpetrated in the church. However, in Judges 16:19, tells of how Delilah waited until Samson fell asleep on her lap, and I'm quoting here, then she called for a man to shave off the 7 braids of his hair. She did not cut his hair. She called for a man. She was paid 20 pieces of silver for figuring out the source of his strength so that he could be defeated.
Right.
But she did not actually clip his locks. Yeah, Delilah might have been scandalous, but she wasn't no barber. So.
But was it a Philistine though? Because I know he slayed the Philistines with a donkey's jawbone.
It depends. Now I'm gonna tell you, it depends on the version of if you get the King James version, if you get the new American version, it depends. But all of them reference a man. Some say it was Philistine. Some say it were the judges, because it is in the Act of Judges. I mean, it's in the Book of Judges. So, but all of them refer to a man that she called for.
Okay.
And the man is actually one that cut his hair. But Delilah is villainized. I mean, yeah, she is scandalous, and
She would have hussy.
she was a hussy. Now we're going to move on to the final round, and then we're going to be wrapping this up.
Okay.
In the now don't put this picture up yet.
Okay.
In the 1983 movie Risky Business, when Tom Cruise slides across the dance floor in his socks and his underwear, is he wearing sunglasses when he starts his dance? Or when he dances at all? Is he wearing sunglasses at any point? Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum.
No, he's not.
No.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-bum.
No, he's not.
Go ahead and put it up.
At any point in his dance, is that what you're
At any
asking?
point in his dance, does he wear sunglasses?
Oh, now I can't remember if
See,
when
now,
he turns around, if he pops them down onto his head or
Right. Yeah, because he's like playing like he's playing
Yeah.
the guitar.
I'm gonna
and I
say
remember
that he starts with them on top of his head and like pops
Right.
them down.
Okay, you can put a picture now. There's the first one. He slides out. No sunglasses, correct?
Mhm.
Give me
Right.
the next one. He actually he never wears sunglasses during that dance routine. Now, your brain got most of the scene right. If you watch that now iconic scene again, you may be surprised to see that Cruise is not wearing sunglasses through any of the dance routine. The mistake is likely comes from seeing Cruise in the shades in other scenes in the films, and also in the film's advertising material, he's wearing shades. So your brain put that in because a lot of the advertising showed him in shades. And of course, why wouldn't you? But why would he put on shades in the house? He can't find his pants. Why the hell would he find his sunglasses?
I mean, because he's a cool guy and he wears his sunglasses.
At night.
So, yeah.
God, I went back and watched it. I went back and watched it just to confirm he does not wear sunglasses at any point in that dance routine. Now,
I feel like this is some bullshit.
Probably one of my favorite movies of all time. The tense meeting between Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter, which is played by Anthony Hopkins, and FBI agent Clarice Starling, fueled 1991's Silence of the Lambs, and that tension is what makes the film so iconic. What does Hannibal Lecter say when he meets Clarice for the first time?
He never says hello, Clarice. I don't remember what he says when he first meets her, but I know hello, Clarice is never said by Hannibal Lecter.
I'm going to say hello, Clarice, because it's the most well-known one. I don't know what else to go with, but I know it's not it.
Now, hello, Clarice has become a default line reading for people looking to emulate, Hopkins' creepy voice. Hello, Clarice. And, the voice of Dr. Lecter.
Right.
But in their very first meeting, think about it, he doesn't know her name. This is their first meeting. He simply says, good morning. Says good morning.
Yeah.
He doesn't know her name. So he says,
are the lambs still screaming?
That's at the end of the movie. Okay. Bonus points.
Okay.
Oh God, I hate bonus points.
What is the name of this gremlin?
Oh my God.
Wait.
Shit.
Let everybody take a look before y'all pop on the answer. What's the name of this
freaking
gremlin?
God.
Now you can answer.
Oh God,
Certainly.
Dang it.
I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Is it Gizmo?
No.
No.
It's not Gizmo.
No, that's the other one.
Yeah, Gizmo never turned into a gremlin.
That's
Gizmo was always Mogwai.
That's right. I
cannot remember.
And time is up. I'll give you two options.
I'm sorry.
Is it
the comments?
Is it Spike or is it Stripe?
I think it's Stripe.
No bonus points for you, but the answer is Stripe. His name is Stripe because the little Corey Feldman, I believe it is, points at him and says, "Hey, look, that one's got a cute stripe on its head." That gremlin's name is Stripe.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, of course, this one is very
The other names that we got were Fugly,
Wink and blink and a nod.
Wink and blink and a nod, and then Fugly and Mohawk and what the crap.
Okay,
and
remember,
Furby.
we have
Furby.
we have got a psychological experiment at the end of this, so we're going to keep this next debate as short as we possibly can,
Okay.
because I want to make sure we get this to see who can answer me correctly
Okay.
at the end of
Okay.
this test.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
Now, this last one is very hotly debated. I
Okay.
need to know, what is the name of this movie, and is it real? Shazam or Kazam?
Okay. I know this one.
Wait,
It is-
give everybody a second.
Okay.
Kazam is alleged to be a movie that stars Shaquille O'Neal. Shazam is alleged to be a movie that stars Sinbad. Are either real? Is one real, or are both not real?
So Kazam is real. Shazam is not real. Sinbad never played a genie in a movie. Shaq did, though, and unfortunately I've seen that movie. So
Kazam starring Shaq is indeed the real movie. Shazam
Mhm.
starring Sinbad never existed. Now, one of the most well-known, this is probably one of the most well-known examples of the Mandela Effect. It's the collective memory of a movie called Shazam that starred the actor named Sinbad in the 1990s. In fact, no such movie exists, although there was a children's movie called Kazam starring Shaquille O'Neal.
Mhm.
And some other coincidences could explain how this movie became created or remembered in many people's mind. Sinbad did star in other movies in the 90s and appeared in a movie poster for the film House Guest, coming out of a mailbox, and that looked very similar to a genie, which could explain the association with the movie Shazam.
Mhm.
Now, Sinbad also dressed up like a genie for an event that he hosted in the 90s. And just to make it more confusing, there's now a movie series based on the DC Comics superhero called Shazam, and that also does not star Sinbad.
No. Mm-mm.
So, go ahead.
This one makes me so mad. This one makes me so mad because you can find anybody who is around my age, your 90s babies,
Right.
who fully remember this godforsaken movie that they're now telling us did not happen. I have scoured the internet, and funny enough, I actually found a scene. Now, here's the thing. I understand we're in the world of AI at this point.
Mhm.
That shows Sinbad acting with two children dressed as a genie, and it looks exactly as I remember it. Exactly as I remember it.
But it could have. I remember something very similar, but I think it could have been a commercial. It could have been something on one of the sitcoms. It could have been. Like, I do remember specifically Kazam because Shaq lived in a boombox. The genie lived in a boombox.
I will. This is another one. I will die on this hill, and I know there is a shit ton of 90 babies out there who will back me on this.
I'm with you, man, but I know it, but it doesn't exist. That's the thing. Like I remember vividly there being something with him playing a genie, but I know it's not not Kazam.
This is the one where I feel like some psychological bullshit really is happening. Then somebody's like, "Nah, just get rid of them. Just wipe it off the, you know."
It never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's wrap this up so we can finish our psychological test.
Okay.
Whether you believe that your memory errors are a result of an alternate universe, a timeline reconstruction, or just good old-fashioned government conspiracy, you're not alone. No one is exempt from being stumped by strange occurrences and faulty memories. No one is immune to the Mandela Effect. Maybe it is the stuff of science fiction, or maybe we just don't pay attention to details. The human brain tends to remember things the way they think they should be, rather than how they actually are, because our brains process information so quickly in our everyday life. We're influenced by verbal and visual cues and the power of suggestion when processing memories. As shocking as it might be to discover that your memory has failed you and will do so in the future, at least you know you're not alone. All right. So now here is your final experiment. Now you're going to tell me what you want to do.
Okay.
You are not to discuss it.
Okay.
Oh,
I want you to write down, don't discuss it because the answer is up to you.
Okay. All right.
All right. I would like for you to choose whichever color you think that you would prefer.
Okay, so up on the
Just
screen we have
Okay.
orange, green, and blue. I'm just
Mhm.
for anybody
Okay.
who's audio listening.
yeah, which one would you prefer? Just
Okay.
just write down a color. Don't discuss it.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Write
okay.
it down.
Both of y'all hold up your paper and let's see what you put.
I don't know if you can see it because it's washed out, but I wrote blue.
I got orange.
Ryan, you succumb because if you can see on my paper, I put I knew you would write blue.
Well, I can
knew
tell
you
you.
would write blue.
I can tell you why I choose the blue color.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it looks like Carolina blue, and I'm a big Tar Heels fan, so I was like, I gravitated towards that. But why did you know I would choose blue?
I will tell you. If you noticed tonight,
Mm-hmm.
now Ryan, you fell actually for the power of suggestion because I think you've told me before your favorite color is green, correct?
No, it's blue. It's always been blue.
It's always been blue. Okay, I thought your favorite color
Specifically
was green.
Carolina blue.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I have been implanting the word blue in your memory since we started.
Mm-hmm.
In your list of words, blue was one of the words.
Right.
In the box that was taken off the shelf, it was blue.
Right.
In the where I was talking about the tennis shoes, I said her blue shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I wore a blue shirt tonight. That is unusual.
Right.
Instead of my white tissue, I have a blue handkerchief.
Okay.
Okay. I even said you're my boy Luke, which immediately makes you think you're my boy Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people, if they were being honest, the color that they thought in their head was more than likely blue. It's the power of suggestion. It's a visual cue that can influence the way you choose. And Blake, I think you
can't be
probably
influenced, bitches.
Yeah,
Shit.
you can. I think you picked orange because it was the first one you saw because I didn't manage to get the blue one up on the screen level. So
No, I mean I picked orange because it was the one that was on the left-hand side of the screen once they all got on the screen. I didn't choose it because it's the first one I saw, but yeah, I just saw it and I was like, I'll go with orange.
Well,
first one.
there you
First
go.
one in the lineup, so that's the one I'll go with.
So that is
I
the power
can't
of
be
suggestion.
influenced.
Oh, you can. Because had I
Keep telling
done-
yourself that.
No, you can't. Had I done orange,
Mm-hmm.
green, or blue,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been giving you a subtle cue that that one was a thumbs up because you see, I would have pointed to orange, pointed to green, and I had gone and then blue. That's a subtle thumbs up, which actually is enough to usually influence people to choose what you prefer or want them to choose. Try it on your coworkers tomorrow. And then I also used words that rhyme with blue, like it's up to you. You choose. I mean, the choice belongs to you. I was saying words that rhymed with the word blue. It's a priming
Interesting.
power of suggestion.
Okay. I
That's
understand.
right. That's right,
What was the final
bitches.
score?
Ryan 19, Blake 24.
Ryan, Blake beat you. So, okay, gentlemen,
Woohoo!
before we wrap it up, any final thoughts on the Mandela effect? Do you feel like you're 10 times more confused than you were?
Shazam is real. Shazam is real. Don't let them lie to you.
What I was going to ask is because of the reason that I chose blue. Do you think that the experiment, not the experiment? Do you think
you got some experiment to do?
Experiment to do. Do you think the experiment could? I mean, I understand the whole suggestion thing of planting the word blue, but I picked blue because of a personal reason. Do you think that the experiment is flawed? Maybe.
Because I actually thought your favorite color was green, which is why I put it in there.
No, it's blue.
See, that was my misrecollection.
Ah.
I was almost sure that you had told me that your favorite color was green. And so I made a point to put that in there but I did write on my paper, I knew you would choose blue. So I think actually you can try the experiment yourself. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to tell them you're experimenting on them, which is my favorite way. And then just ask them to randomly pick one. Just say, I can't decide. Which one do you think I should choose? It's up to you. See if they pick the color or if you wanted them to pick pink. What do you think? I think I'm gonna go have a drink after work. What
It's
do
a
you think?
big stink.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to make a big stink about this.
So,
What?
Shazam is real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you
All
say
right.
so.
Any more final thoughts, gentlemen?
That's
Before
very
we wrap this
interesting.
up?
It's very interesting. I don't know. I think that like you said, the power suggestion is very powerful. And I think that some people, mindlessly go along with it. But I think, like you said earlier too, there's a lot of people who, even though it didn't happen, will insist that it happened and go along with the group and say that it happened. And
Right.
so, yeah.
And so a good way to avoid it is to fact check for yourself.
Mhm.
Don't take the first source you read as the only source.
Mhm.
Go to many different sources, but you see
Right.
that requires time, effort, energy, and it's easily just to believe what's put in front of you.
Right.
So
I just asked
Final
the
thoughts?
question, why too much?
I do
Yeah,
too.
I
Yeah.
think so. Okay, so some of these, I'm gonna say some of these that it's obvious. It's pretty obvious to see kind of what's happening. You have the
Right.
word a or the, and the way that we pronounce things.
Right.
The instead of a.
Mhm.
The and very similar. Little things like that can be misconstrued.
Right.
The ones that get me are the ones like fucking Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
That I've thought about this for the longest time. Whenever they first started coming out saying this movie's not real, I'm not trying to get
Right.
stuck back on this topic, but this is a really good one where there is the biggest amount of people, an entire generation almost, that remembers this movie. Those are the ones that boggle my mind. And I'm like, nah, see, that's where some other shit's got to be going on. These other ones, this is my final thoughts on this, by the way. These other ones, yeah, I can see how it's like a misconstrued word, or you don't quite remember, or a power suggestion or something like that. Shazam's the one that got me fucked up. They got me fucked up on that one.
But do you think, because you're getting bombarded with so much information every day from media, from advertising, from anything you look at, essentially, do you think that maybe your wires are getting crossed and you're conflating other things with things that already exist?
No, I don't. I really want to share. I'm going to share a link into the comments on both of the profiles that I came across something, and I will even share it with y'all on the phone call after this broadcast. And when I played it, I was like, Ryan, you probably know what I'm talking about. When I played it, it was like Shazam's real, all that stuff, and it shows a whole freaking scene with two kids and Sinbad. And I'm like, this is the movie that I remember.
Dude, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think that Sinbad made like a parody video because they were talking about
it. Yes, he did.
So I do know exactly what you're talking about, because it was such a big conspiracy online. He ended up making a video making fun of it.
Yes, he did do a parody of it.
Bullshit.
And I actually did find that, and I went, wait a minute, this is, but if you keep digging, he actually has blue on his face, and he has this gold thing around his head, and he's like,
no,
he made a parody of it.
No, not in the video I watched.
But I think, Blake, I know which one you're talking about, and I believe it was a parody of. I'm just making fun of what the Shazam controversy was.
This fucking movie's real. The government's fucking with us. It's over.
I think they have better things to do than to fuck with you about Sinbad.
I don't know, man. I think they just like to toy with us.
And my final thoughts is I absolutely love the Mandela Effect. I was shocked to learn that Lucy never had any explaining to do. And I was shocked that, apparently the Scarecrow was packing heat. I had missed that day all the countless times I'd watched the movies.
I never realized it either.
I knew that one.
Anyway, but I think this is fun and fascinating. That just goes to tell you to always fact check your stuff. Go and look for yourself. Don't just believe, because again, 70% of people will believe a lie and a rumor over the truth. Don't be one of them. So with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know?
Absolutely, sure will. Without a doubt. Tell them everything they need to know. All right, y'all. So if you haven't heard, or you probably just haven't been tuning in the last couple of weeks, but number one, Shazam is real. Number two, season 2 of After Dark with EVP has already kicked off on Paraflix Paranormal Plus. That aired on March 28th. So last week, we've got our next one coming out this Thursday at 7 p.m. We will have the wonderful Mr. Chad Wandell with Ghost Geeks. His episode will be dropping on April the 4th at 7 p.m. only on Paraflix Paranormal Plus. So that'll be available on Amazon Fire, Roku TV, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play. Make sure that you use our link to sign up, which we posted on our Facebook page tomorrow via the Linktree link, and also in the show notes for you audio listeners. You can use the code AFTERDARK25 for 25% off your annual subscription. We're going to post that up tomorrow morning, so you can get to that Linktree on our Facebook page. That's going to include every social media channel as well that we're on, our online merchandise store, our public investigations, and our Patreon page. Our Patreon page is the fastest and easiest way you can directly help support the show. For just $5 a month, you will gain access to now over 350 additional Patreon exclusive videos. Your support from this goes directly to the show and all the ghostly adventures that we get to bring to you week after week. That price will never change. And with that, you currently get the pre and post broadcasts, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast, where we discuss things further, fight, debate. It's a mess. Way too personal. We need to, we'll never be president. Anyways, that also includes our Patreon exclusive raw and unedited investigation footage. We just put up, if you've heard us talk about the very dirty Estes method of me at Hill House Manor with Shelley leading, that is now on Patreon. Yay. If you have not heard it or have not watched it, go check it out.
Oh, child. Not safe for work. Put it in your earphones. Right
No,
away.
it is not. No, it is not. So if you ever wanted to review and watch our raw paranormal evidence, now is your chance. That's only on Patreon. And don't forget, we're also offering a 7-day free trial for our Patreon page, so you can check it out right before purchasing. We also have a couple of Paracons that are going to be coming up that we are going to make an appearance as. On April the 12th and the 13th, we will be at West Tex Paracon in Ballinger, Texas. That is going to be for the investigating the Old Park Hotel and the Runnels County Jail as well. Again, it's April 12th to 13th. You can check out the West Tex Paracon 2024 Facebook page for any information on tickets. And at the end of this month, we will be in St. Joseph, Missouri at SpiritCon, where we will be speaking there as well. So if you want to catch us in person, come by and say hi at the table. Check out some of the stuff that we have. Come join us in Ballinger, Texas, or St. Joseph, Texas. Again, that's April 12th to 13th.
St. Joseph,
and then,
Missouri.
Sorry, St. Joseph, Missouri. Thank you.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Or April 27th to the 28th in St. Joseph, Missouri. So make sure you're following us across all social media platforms so you can get those kind of announcements for the Paracons. We have other ones coming up later on in the year as well. These are all the ways you can directly support everything Vaguely Paranormal, but we also appreciate your love and support for us through those likes, shares, comments, views, and downloads. And remember, as always, any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share with us, those can always be submitted to us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com. Shut up, Brian.
Like, share, and subscribe. So we want to thank you guys for joining us this evening on Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
I got a question.
Shazam is real.